Ladies and gentlemen, I have once again done yard sailing. I bought a brake press, like new. I bought an air compressor, like new. I was given a wheelchair lift. I bought a shop vac. But I want to talk about the other thing that I bought, and for only $25. I bought what appears to be a mid-80s Johns Red chainsaw, and it's in very good shape. I mean, really good shape, and for only $25. You see, when I was a young man here in northern Michigan, there were really only two ways to make money. You could do sissy work, or you could be a logger. I chose to be a logger, and when you're a logger, you need a chainsaw. At the time, there were really only two options for a professional commercial saw. You could buy a Husqvarna, or you could buy a Johns Red. I guess you could have bought a Stihl too, but people got made fun of for buying pretty boy equipment like Stihl. Stihl back then is like Milwaukee is now, but the way we would pick on somebody for buying a Stihl would probably be a crime nowadays. You just didn't want it in the woods. The old high RPM European saws were faster and more reliable than the Stihls anyway. The Stihls had a lot of torque, but they didn't get through the wood as fast as one of these things would if you knew what you were doing. And this one right here is pretty cool. This I'm pretty sure is a Johns Red 490, although half the sticker's gone, but it has the right body and it is the right build. And somebody who was using it set it up right too. It has a stainless steel total super bar. This is the kind of bar I used to run when I was a young man. Only mine was much longer, and the saw I ran was called a 2094 Johns Red. It was 94 cc's, and it was very big. Don't get me wrong, it's still a professional saw, and it will definitely scream through a piece of wood, especially when I get done with that chain. It's just the kind of work that I used to do required me to get logs to a certain length in time for the equipment operators to pick them up. And equipment operators back then did not like waiting for a groundsman to get a log the right length. So you needed a saw that dropped through a piece of wood very fast. If you showed up with this saw right here, you would definitely be limbing tops down and stacking them in a pile someplace to be burnt. They wouldn't want to have to wait for this thing to get through a piece of wood. This one right here is in really good shape. I doubt it spent any time in the woods at all. All of the suspension's really tight, and I've never seen a saw this old that feels this tight. Usually the handle's quite loose on there. This one feels like it's brand new. Unfortunately, it probably doesn't run. It was only $25, and the gas in here smells like varnish. I'm still going to try to start it, though. This thing's actually got a lot of compression. I think it wants to run, even with the junk gas. Oh, yeah. It smells like burning varnish. I know exactly what I'm going to do with this saw. I'm going to set it up with a ripping chain and a milling table so I can cut my own 2x4s. It won't be the fastest or most efficient way to do that, but it is affordable and good enough for my needs. Then I can start building some stuff. An old professional saw like this one will easily handle that kind of abuse. These can run for a very long time wide open without overheating or burning up. They're very reliable saws, and this one will work well for that table.